Hey, deserving listeners, Jenny and Sumit on 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way. I'm going to react. My name is Dr. Kirk Honda. I'm a therapist and a professor. As I always say, everything that I'm saying is based on very little information and completely speculative. So keep that in mind. Let's watch.
And threw it on the floor and broke it. When I came running out there, I ran straight through the whole family members. They were all standing in a big circle in the living room. Sumit was up against the wall. He was in a fight stance like this. His cousin was holding him back.
Wow. I mean, I knew that the family was disapproving of this relationship, but violence, and the mom is getting violent. That is terrifying for everyone concerned, but for Jenny in particular. I mean, she's really scared. She's in a foreign country. She doesn't speak the language. She doesn't know what's happening. And can she trust Sumit? And that would just be extremely scary. If I were in Jenny's shoes, I would come back home. I'd be like, okay, I can't handle this. This is too frightening to me. I don't know what y'all are capable of. I'm gone.
I was scared. I was scared. I didn't know how to help him. They're threatening to put him in jail. They're threatening to put him in jail, and we're going to call the police. You're going to go to jail. Jenny's going to go to jail too, because we're going to file a complaint against her too, because she's living here with a married man.
Wow. And to add that terror to the situation where you, I don't know if that's true or not, have a legitimate legal claim of crime on you, and being imprisoned in another country would just be, like I said, I would be gone. I'd be like, nothing's worth this amount of hassle and terror and fear. Yeah, that's a terrifying position to be in for Jenny. And why does this have to be this way? Now, we don't know what Sumit's story is here. Why is he married? We haven't heard it. But let's just go with the argument that he was, forced to marry this other woman or something. Why can't he just marry Jenny and live with her? Why can't they just be a couple? Why does it have to be all of this chaos and drama? Like, I get it, cultural notions, traditions, I get it, but it's frustrating to watch.
Trouble for it. I just found out too. So how can I get in trouble for it? But I was scared. I don't know the Indian laws. I don't know what can happen. They asked him, do you love Jenny? And he said, yes, I love Jenny. He said it to everybody. Yes, I love Jenny. That's what happened.
All right, so that's a step forward, that he said that he loved Jenny. So he admitted it. It sounds like, I was talking about procrastination with Sumit around why would he be doing this. And I guess the procrastination is over because the family discovered him and have now put that issue aside. He no longer has to procrastinate about it. So this might be kind of a good thing for the two of them, but I don't know. I assume that Jenny doesn't go to prison because this show wouldn't be airing this, right? If that happened. So that's my main worry about right now.
They took Sumit out of here. They took him away from here, and I haven't seen him since. And I'm just here in this apartment, left here by myself, and I don't know what to do. I'm in India by myself without Sumit. What do I do? What do I do? I'm scared.
Yeah, you just feel so bad for Jenny. It just breaks my heart. I mean, she seems like such a pure soul, a good person. We don't see that very often on this show. I mean, I think they're all good people, but someone that is so nice and so giving and trusting, and someone who doesn't ever get hostile. She never gets hostile. She has a lot of reasons to be hostile, and we don't see it. And to have her suffering in this way, it's so unfortunate that this family can't just stop and take a beat and listen. At the very least, don't essentially kidnap Sumit. Is that what happened right there? Ugh, it's just, it's upsetting. And it's upsetting also because I know this sort of thing happens all over the world. These kinds of conflicts happen all over the world, and 99.99999% of them are not presented on a reality TV show. So Jenny and Sumit's suffering is, it is the tip of the iceberg in terms of all the various people that are in this situation suffering in this way. And I don't get it. I don't understand it. And it's sad to see. My parents had to elope partially because of these reasons, Japanese and European American mom, Japanese American dad, European American mom, had to elope because of this reason, because of family disapproval and potentially violence actually happening. And I just feel like, why? Like, there are some things that I get, like, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, certain morals and traditions. But this one, I understand having a preference, I suppose, but to be militant and violent and to threaten an innocent woman with putting her in prison, I don't understand it. There's so many things to struggle with in life, and there's so many things to worry about in life. Why would you add this one to your life? Why would you arbitrarily add this moral or to this tradition to ruin everyone's lives? Then the same goes for when your kid is gay. There are countless people who come out to their parents and they go through similar kinds of experiences, whether it's the United States or otherwise, where there's threats and kidnapping and violence and disapproval and disowning. And I just think, like, why? And to see her suffer like this, it makes me angry. I hurt for her and I'm angry for her.
Well, before I married to her, many times it happens that I want to tell Jenny about this, but I feel like that if I'm gonna tell her that, Jenny, I'm married, then she gonna leave me alone.
Okay, so let's just assume that he is a good person in that he loves Jenny genuinely, and he genuinely does want to be with her. So let's just assume that. We don't know that for sure. He could be a psychopath, he could be a con artist, but let's just assume that he does love her genuinely. Why would he? Well, let's look at the behaviors before we conceptualize. So we have in the beginning of the relationship, which apparently was around 7 years ago, he catfished Jenny. So he has this ability to put aside his morality or put aside his worry about harming someone else's feelings and just flat out lie to them. And that's what he did. We could assume that Jenny wasn't the only person that he had catfished on the internet. I mean, it doesn't seem likely that Jenny would be the only one. Who knows? But he did it to Jenny, and it worked out in his favor because once he did reveal himself after months of lying to her, that she actually liked him and liked how he looked and that kind of thing. And I just want to pause right here, just on that one alone. Imagine you all out there doing something like that. I cannot imagine doing something like that. Now, my personality is such that I can't. It's really hard for me to lie to someone. And I wouldn't see any benefit in it. It would just really tear me apart. And plus, why would you catfish someone? It just doesn't make any sense. Now, that's to me. To other people, it might make sense, and let's conceptualize later. But we have this behavior, which is pretty pronounced, okay? Then he lies about being married to her. This, 2.5 years. He is lying to her by omission, a huge thing of omission, of course. And he's also lying to her by Jenny, by acting like he could get married while she comes out here. Yeah, we're going to get married. Yeah, we're going to do this promise ceremony. Yeah, all this stuff. Even though he knows it is not possible. Okay. And just think about, and whenever I think about this sort of thing, you got to think about every minute of every day you are lying by omission. These kinds of lies, like when you're cheating on someone, it's not just one lie, it's millions of lies, because the event is very important. And of course, you know that your spouse wants to know this, and you choose every second of every day that exists while you omit that detail. You are choosing to lie to that person. So you are making millions of little choices to lie, and he has done that multiple times in those three main ways that we know. Who knows what else he's lied to her about? The catfishing. Yes, we can get married. Come out here, we can get married. And I'm not married to someone else. So why would someone do that if they weren't a psychopath? Now, of course, people on the internet will say, oh, he's a sociopath, and that, what they really mean to say is a psychopath. But let's just assume that that's not the case. Why would someone be that way? Well, probably because if I was to speculate that his parents are extremely controlling, even for Indian parents, maybe. That's just a total speculation. Let's just go with this possibility. And he learned early in life, when he was 3 years old, that in order to save himself, in order to survive, he has to lie in order to get away from harsh punishment, in order to just live his life, and maybe going into his teenage years or something like this. This is what high control, very rigid parents will do to children, is it forces them to choose between the lesser of two evils. They can either choose to comply and deny half of their needs, or they can try to get their needs met but completely lie to you. That's what rigid, high control, totally inflexible parenting will do to children. And I'm guessing, total speculation, but based on the little bit that we've seen, that Sumit might have come from a situation like that. So from an early age, he learns that it's okay to lie. He just becomes very accustomed to it. It's very natural to him. And it's even an act of survival, even an act of romantic. He might have lied repeatedly to his parents about who he was dating various different times or what he was up to. And so it just becomes just part of life. Of course, you just lie. A lot of teenagers will go through phases like this where they just know, look, I'm not going to tell my parents about the fact that I smoked pot the other day, or the fact that I drank at that party, or the fact that I had sex with that person, or the fact that I have, I went to this party and when I said I was going to go to this other thing. It just becomes extremely normal for kids or for the person to lie. Now, hopefully for those teenagers, they don't have to lie that much, and that they can reverse that habit once they get older. But for Sumit, this might have been, he's 30 years old, this might be a 30-year-long habit for him. And so it doesn't feel odd to him. It doesn't feel bad to him. It's like, well, this is what I just do. In order for me to have my life, in order for me to be with Jenny and to have a relationship and love her, I just lie. I lie to my parents, and sometimes I have to lie to Jenny because of my parents. It's not my fault. That this could be the justification in his mind is, it's not my fault I have to lie to Jenny. It's my parents' fault. It's not on me. It's my parents' fault. And that's what high control and flexible parenting will do to a child, is cause the lying and cause immaturity around that. It's not uncommon for a child to think this way. It is dysfunctional for an adult to think this way. A lot of kids will lie and will have weird justifications for their lying. And he might have retained that because he hasn't matured beyond those phases early in life, because his parenting situation, his family situation, or cultural situation never allowed for that maturity. That's the best guess I have. It's based on massive amounts of speculation, but let's keep that in mind, and maybe we can look for other speculations and conceptualizations as to why he would have lied so pathologically to Jenny for years. All right, well, that does it for that episode. If you didn't know already, we have merch. You can click on the link below. The Podwife is often adding new t-shirts and new mugs and everything, new designs. So look out for that. And also, I'm on Cameo if you want to wish someone a happy birthday or happy anniversary, or just, have a good day. Go to Cameo and you can have me do that. And everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.